This is going to be a real short, brief video on what I learned and what I found useful when building my Hackintosh. I had the hardware I was using was an Asus motherboard with an Intel Core 2 Duo processor and an NVIDIA GeForce 8400 GS graphics processor. Um, all that aside, I really didn't have to worry about that until the end, getting the processor all functioning properly. Really, you only had to start out with these three things over here. First, you needed Snow Leopard. I used 10.6.3 because 10.6.4 wasn't really widely, from what I read, it wasn't widely supported yet on any Hackintoshes, so I played it safe and stuck with 10.6.3. The next thing you need is Empire EFI, version 1.085. And, oh, by the way, you can get Snow Leopard any torrents or anything like that. I mean, go be shiesty and do something like that. Or just buy it. It's 29 bucks. It's not really too much of a hit to the pocket. Anyway, what you need Empire EFI first. You download it here. It's 1085. It's 2 ISOs once you get into it. And this is basically, you put this in the computer, you boot from the CD, and it allows you to tell your computer to boot from the Snow Leopard DVD, which you burn or you purchased, whatever way you acquired it, and that way you can install Snow Leopard to your hard drive. What's also a good tip is that your hard drive's SATA connection has to be an AHCP, I believe is what it's called, and that just kind of helps the computer with the installation process. I'm not real sure on the whole whys or why nots. All the research told me to do it, so that's what I did. And I think it's AHCP, and that's within your BIOS of your computer. To get into that, it's either delete, F8, or F12. You'll see when the computer's booting up. The next thing you need is MyHack. I used MyHack by Nocom because he modified the original MyHack to make it up to date with to make the Hackintosh run smoother. You can find that all at kext.com, and this is what it looks like. There's a bunch of tools. It's located here within the tools area. It's on the first page. Pretty easy to find. I'll show it to you here. God willing, it loads. Again, this is the Empire EFI page up here. This is at the following website. Go ahead and pause the video and write that down, type that out, whatever you like. I'm too lazy to put it in the description. And you just download the latest one, and that's pretty much all there is to it. Pretty easy. And let's see. That's taking a while to get to the tools, so I'm just going to not go there. But you go into tools, and it's there. This is what it looks like. So MyHack by Nocom. And what that does is it basically allows the computer to boot into Snow Leopard without having to have the Empire EFI disk in there anymore. So the process I used was set that BIOS to do the AHCP or whatever it was. Put the Empire EFI disk in there, boot to the disk, take the disk out, put the Snow Leopard disk in, install Snow Leopard onto the hard drive. I mean, you had to format and all that stuff, of course, first. If you don't know how to do that, ask me and I'll let you know. After that, you install MyHack, which kind of lets some of the devices built in on your hardware kind of work, like the mouse, if it's a old Windows type mouse, of the PS/2 mouse, and also it allows you to boot into your Hackintosh, your Snow Leopard, without having to have the Empire EFI disk in there every time. Once you've installed that, I mean, it's pretty much just, I spent some time on kext.com to find different drivers to get my different devices working on the computer. Like the graphics card wasn't working properly, so I went into video cards, found my video card, enabled it. That's a short way of saying it. I actually took quite a while to do that because first time I did it, the video card stopped working. I didn't have any screen to work with. I ended up having to enable screen sharing remotely and then using another computer to see the screen. It was a big mess. So So as a tip, I would turn on screen sharing and file sharing on your Hackintosh as soon as you get in there, in case you lose your video feed. Another thing you may have to do is install SMC fan control for controlling your fan speed. Sometimes the operating system doesn't play nice with your onboard fan, and SMC fan control lets you control that. Also, I'd run your updates. Don't install any operating system updates or Wi-Fi updates, but like Safari or iTunes, little things like that you can do. Otherwise, I'd stay away from the other ones. And once you've gotten some of these things installed, these drivers are actually in the form of what's called a kext file. You can get them from kext.com, pretty simple. And what you'll want to use to install them, there are terminal codes you can do, but what I found was it's also on kext.com, in their tools section was an application called Text Utility. And what you do is you just drop the kext file on there, and it installs the driver. Then you reboot your computer, and hopefully, fingers crossed, everything works like it's supposed to. Doesn't always happen that way, but it should if you found the correct stuff. What I ended up doing to find out all the information about my computer, like I wasn't sure which graphics cards it was and stuff, is I had Windows on there previously, and I used Windows to tell me all the devices and all the pieces of the computer that were on there, because I don't know anything about for Mac that does that, because normally with all my other Macs they don't need it. They just work, so you don't have all this third-party hardware to install. So if you do want to, and you have Windows on the computer already, before you go into the whole Hackintosh scenario, install the free trial thing of I think it's Everest Ultimate, and yeah. I think you can get it at everestultimate.com, and you install that. It tells you everything there is to know about your computer. You can print out the reports. That way you know what drivers to look for. I'm really glad I did that. Otherwise, I'd have no idea what I'm running. And so that's pretty much all you need. This is just the kind of intro. There's not a lot of like eye candy to look at here. It's just me describing what I did and what I went to get this to work. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up. More than happy to help you guys find what you're looking for. There are some other websites out there that I haven't mentioned yet, and some other little tips and tricks. But otherwise, this is basically what you're looking for to get it up and running, the way I have it now. Also, so hope this was informational. I hope this was beneficial to you guys, and thank you for watching. You guys stay frosty.